this question we are told that f of x is a polynomial function, that is f of x is of the form a into x to the power n plus b into x to the power n minus 1 plus dot 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 plus some constant term, say c. We are told that f of a into f of b is equal to f of a plus f of b plus f of a into b minus 2, and we are given the value of f of 4 which is equal to 17, and we are asked to calculate the value of f of 7. Whenever you are given this kind of a question, you are given the value of f of 4 and you are asked to calculate the value of f of 7. The first thing you should understand is that 7 is not very closely related to 4. If you are given say f of 4 and asked to find out the value of f of 8 or f of 16 or some power of 4 or some number which is a multiple of 4, then one way to look about it is if you can try to sort this out, try to find out the value of f of 1, f of 2 and then add them, something like that can be done. But over here you are asked to calculate the value of f of 7, which is a prime number. So the only way to proceed over here is to first figure out the value of f of x. Because you can't really add f of 4 to itself and get f of 7. 7 and 4 don't have any real common factors. The second thing that you should notice is that in functions, especially if you are given f of a into f of b on one side and f of a and f of b, the sum on the other side, a simple trick is to factorize this. How are you going to factorize it? If you bring f of a and f of b to the other side, the given equation will become equal to f of a into f of b minus f of a minus f of b is equal to f of a into b minus 2. Now if you add 1 to both left hand side and right hand side, you add plus 1 over here and you add plus 1 over here. Now the left hand side becomes equal to f of a minus 1 into f of b minus 1, and the right hand side becomes equal to f of ab minus 1. This is something that you should observe if you see the product on one side and the sum on the other side. This is quite useful, especially in functions questions. So suppose you have something like x into y is equal to x plus y plus something. Then if you bring x and y to the other side, you will be simply factorizing the left hand side to be some sort of x minus 1 into y minus 1 is equal to something else. You have to just add 1 on both sides. Remember this is quite useful in functions. Anyway, now if you are looking at g of x to be equal to f of x minus 1, then the left hand side becomes equal to g of a into g of b is equal to g of a into b. What is the value of g of x? Because f of x is a polynomial, g of x will also be a polynomial. Because if you assume that f of x is of the form a into x to the power n plus b into x to the power n minus 1 plus dot 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 plus c, the value of g of x will be very similar. All the powers of x will have the same coefficients, that is this will be equal to a into x to the power n plus b into x to the power n minus 1 plus dot dot dot. Only the constant term will be lesser by 1. So this is also a polynomial function. What is the value of g of 4? Because f of 4 is 17, g of 4 is equal to 16. In this equation, if you substitute the value of a and b to be equal to 1, what is the value of g of 1? G of 1 into g of 1 is equal to g of 1. This would imply that g of 1 is either equal to 1 or equal to 0. You can easily disprove that g of 1 cannot be equal to 0. How can you do that? Because if say g of 1 is equal to 0, what is the value of g of 4? G of 4 into g of 1 will be equal to g of 4. If g of 1 over here is equal to 0, then the left hand side will become equal to 0 and the right hand side will be equal to 16. So this is a contradiction. So g of 1 cannot be equal to 0. G of 1 has to equal 1. Now if you substitute the value of b to be equal to 1 by a, then the left hand side becomes equal to g of a into g of 1 by a is equal to g of 1, which is equal to 1. This is true for all the values of a. This would imply, because it is given that g of x is also a polynomial function, that g of x has to be of the form plus or minus x to the power n. Because in this case, g of 1 by x will become equal to plus or minus 1 by x whole to the power n. So that the product x to the power n and 1 by x to the power n cancel each other and you will be left with 1. We are told that g of 4 is equal to 16. So this would imply that g of 4 from this given equation has to be of the form plus or minus 4 to the power n. So now you can figure out that g of x is equal to x square and therefore f of x is equal to x square plus 1. Therefore the value of f of 7 is equal to 7 square plus 1, which is equal to 50. In this question, what did we first notice? When we saw that f of 7 is to be found out and we are given the value of f of 4, we have to make a choice that we have to figure out the value of f of x. We can't just substitute the value of a and b to be different numbers and get the value of 7 from 4. The second thing you should notice is that you have f of a and f of b, the sum on the right hand side and the product on the left hand side. So then you should understand that we should be able to factorize this to form f of a minus 1 into f of b minus 1. Once these two steps are formed, finding out the value of f of x is not very difficult, and then you can calculate the value of f of 7, which will equal 50.